It's late. The fog is thick, like a heavy blanket over the university campus. The streets are empty, silent, except for the sound of footsteps. Mara Ellison, a university student, is walking alone. She's been studying all night, and now she's heading back to her dorm. As she walks, she pauses for a moment, looking around. There's something strange in the air. A feeling. She turns her head slowly, almost as if she hears something, but there's no one there. She keeps walking, faster now, her footsteps quickening. But then she stops again. She looks back. Her heart races. She knows she's not alone. A shadow moves in the distance, but when Mara turns to look, it's gone. Then, without warning, she vanishes. One moment she's there, and the next gone. No struggle, no scream, just silence. The fog swallows her whole, and she's never seen again. No one knows what happened. No one can explain it. Mara Ellison disappeared that night, and the only thing left behind is the fog. Detective Elias Granger has seen it all. A seasoned investigator, known for getting results. But that didn't stop him from being suspended. His mistake, going too far, asking too many questions. Now, he's been off the job for months. But then the phone rings. It's the chief. Granger, I need you back. We have a case. A missing student. The chancellor's niece. You can't mess this up. Granger doesn't like being dragged back into the game, but there's no choice. He agrees, silently wondering why they're calling him. There are plenty of other detectives. But they want him. They want him to solve it. The call ends, and Granger is left with a bitter taste in his mouth. This isn't just another missing person. This is something more, and Granger knows it. Granger arrives at Mara Ellison's dorm, a small, quiet room tucked in the corner of the building. The door creaks open, and the stale air hits him. Everything looks untouched, except for one thing. A journal lies half hidden under the bed, covered in dust, its pages yellowed from age. Granger kneels down and flips it open. The first few pages are ordinary, mundane even, filled with notes about classes and late-night studying. But then things take a turn. Drawings. Strange sketches of a hooded figure. An unsettling feeling creeps up Granger's spine. He turns the page, and it gets worse. Scrawled notes about nightmares, voices in the dark, and a name that repeats over and over again. Aurum Veritas. He reads the words over and over, the phrase bouncing around in his mind. It's not just a name. It's something more. The journal isn't the only thing out of place. The rest of the room seems too quiet. The bed is neatly made, the desk untouched. Mara's laptop is missing, and there's no sign of a struggle. It's as if she just vanished. Granger's fingers tighten around the journal. Something isn't right, and it's clear this wasn't just a simple disappearance. This is a clue. A piece of a puzzle he's just beginning to see. Granger sits across from Mara's roommate, a young woman named Emily. Her eyes dart nervously, avoiding Granger's gaze. The room is thick with tension, the air almost suffocating. Emily fidgets in her seat, her hands twisting together as she tries to avoid the question hanging in the air. How well did you know Mara? Granger asks, his voice steady, probing. We were friends. Close. Emily replies, but there's something off in her tone. Her voice cracks just a little too easily. Granger leans forward, his eyes narrowing. What was she working on? Something she shouldn't have been, right? Emily hesitates, biting her lip. She was researching something. But I didn't think it was serious. Her voice drops to a whisper. She said she was being followed. Granger's brow furrows. Being followed? He knows that feeling all too well. It's the kind of thing you don't admit to unless you're scared. Who was following her? Emily looks around, as if expecting someone to burst through the door. She lowers her voice even further. I don't know, but she was worried. She thought they were watching her. Granger takes in the information, his mind racing. A student worried about being followed? It's a red flag, but it's not enough yet. He needs more. Did she ever mention anything about a secret society? He asks, his voice casual but sharp, cutting through the air. Emily's eyes widen, panic flickering in them. She opens her mouth, but no sound comes out. Then, in a hushed whisper, she says, Aurum Veritas. Her face pales. She mentioned it once, but I don't think it's anything. She shakes her head quickly, as if trying to convince herself. Granger stands up, his mind spinning with these new details. Mara had been researching something dangerous, and it was no coincidence. This wasn't just about a missing person. This was about something darker, much darker. Granger steps into the university's restricted archive, a place few students or staff ever venture. The musty scent of old books fills the air, the dim light casting long shadows over the rows of forgotten history. It's quiet, too quiet. He's looking for something, anything, that might explain Mara's obsession with the secret society. And he finds it on the farthest shelf, a single book tucked away in the back of the room. The History of Secret Societies in Academic Institutions, the last book Mara borrowed before her disappearance. The book feels heavy in his hands, as if the weight of its secrets is already pressing down on him. He flips through the pages, each one filled with dense text about organizations operating in the shadows of universities, their rituals, their influence. Granger's finger pauses on the last page. It's been torn out. Frustration rises in his chest. Someone's trying to hide something. But who? And why? Just as he's about to put the book back, something catches his eye. A name. Aurum Veritas. It's mentioned briefly in the margin of the page. Granger traces the letters with his finger, and suddenly the librarian, a thin, nervous man, appears at his side. "You shouldn't be in here," the librarian says, his voice a little too quiet. His eyes flicker to the book, then back to Granger. There's fear in his gaze. A fear Granger knows all too well. "Why is this section off limits?" Granger asks, keeping his voice calm. The librarian shifts uncomfortably. We keep certain things restricted for a reason." He stumbles over his words, his hands twitching. Granger's eyes narrow. Like Mara's research, the librarian doesn't respond. Instead, he hurries away, his footsteps echoing through the silent room. But Granger doesn't need an answer. He already knows. Someone doesn't want him digging any deeper. Granger heads to the university's administration office. It's a tall, old building with cold walls that seem to press in on him. Inside, the staff work quietly, their eyes avoiding his as he walks past. He approaches the dean, a tall man in a suit, who looks up from his desk without much interest. "You're making a bigger deal out of this than it needs to be," the dean says quickly, his tone dismissive. "She's just a missing student. Nothing unusual here." Granger's jaw tightens. He's used to hearing this, people who want to sweep things under the rug. But he's not backing down. Her name is Mara Ellison. She's the chancellor's niece. "People want answers," Granger replies, his voice firm. The dean sighs, rubbing his forehead as if he's dealing with a minor inconvenience. "We don't need a detective digging around here. This is an internal matter, and it'll be handled internally." Granger knows what that means. They want him to stop asking questions, to go away. But he can't. Not now. "If this is internal," Granger says coldly, "then why did she have a journal with drawings of a secret society? Why is everyone so afraid to talk about it?" The dean's face hardens. He stands up. This conversation is over. But it's not. Not for Granger. He leaves the office, but the words Aurum Veritas echo in his mind. Something's being hidden, and he's going to find out what. Granger's phone buzzes in the middle of the night. It's an anonymous email, the subject line simple. "Come alone." The message is short but clear. "Meet me at the old lecture hall. Midnight. I know what happened to Mara." Granger doesn't waste any time. He grabs his coat, checks his gun, and heads out. The campus is silent, the kind of quiet that feels too heavy, too empty. The lecture hall is dark when he arrives. The only light comes from the moon, casting shadows across the room. A figure stands at the far side, barely visible. Granger steps forward cautiously. "Who are you?" he asks, his voice low. The figure steps into the light. It's a janitor, his face worn, his eyes tired and scared. "You're the detective," the janitor says, his voice shaking. "I saw her. Mara. She was meeting with people. People in cloaks. Late at night. I tried to stay out of it, but they paid me to keep quiet. I don't want any trouble." Granger listens carefully. What did they want with her? The janitor shakes his head, fear written all over his face. "I don't know, but they told her not to tell anyone. I think they're the ones who took her." Granger's mind races. Cloaked figures. Secret meetings. It's all starting to connect. This isn't just a missing student. There's something darker going on. Who were they? Granger presses, his voice urgent. But before the janitor can answer, the lights flicker. The figure steps back into the shadows, disappearing into the darkness. Granger stands alone in the empty hall, his heart pounding. This is bigger than he thought, and he's just getting started. Granger is deep in thought, his discovery weighing heavily on him. Aurum Veritas, the missing students, Dr. Vale. But his search isn't over. He's still looking for Mara. And now, the secret society is involved. The fog is thick tonight as Granger walks through the campus, following the shadowy figure from the CCTV footage. The mist is so dense he can barely see. Suddenly, he spots someone, a hooded figure, moving like a ghost through the fog. He follows quietly, but something feels off. A chill runs down his spine. He's being watched. Then, the figure turns and charges at him, knocking him off balance. Before Granger can react, they attack, fast and unpredictable. In the chaos, he loses his phone. Then, in the silence, he picks something up, a pendant. It's the same one from Mara's journal. The figure vanishes, but Granger knows now. The truth is closer than ever. Back in his car, Granger stares at the pendant, his mind racing. The connection to Kellen Dorsey, one of the missing students, is undeniable. He runs the pendant through for analysis, and it belongs to Kellen. He was part of the secret society, just like Mara. Granger tracks down Kellen's mother. She's been living in torment, but tells him something chilling. Kellen said he heard voices, whispered about rituals. He was scared. Then he disappeared. The pieces are falling into place. These students weren't just disappearing, they were being silenced. But by who and why? Granger knows he's getting closer to the truth, but now it's time to take a risk. He decides to join the secret society, hoping to get inside. That night, he receives an encrypted invitation. Come alone. Midnight. Bell Tower. He goes prepared with a hidden wire, but when he steps into the tower, the signal cuts out. It's quiet, too quiet. Then hooded figures emerge, surrounding him. The leader steps forward. You're one of us now, detective. Granger's heart races. He's finally in the belly of the beast. Granger stands surrounded by hooded figures in the bell tower. The air is thick with tension, their chanting growing louder. At the edge of the platform, he sees Mara. She's alive, but something's wrong. Her eyes are glazed, her body swaying. Mara, you're safe now, he calls, but she doesn't respond. The leader blocks his view of her. She's not the same person you knew. None of us are. The chanting intensifies, and Granger knows he has to act fast. But before he can, chaos erupts. Mara is pushed forward, stumbling toward the edge. Granger leaps to catch her, but they both fall, crashing through the scaffolding below. As they fall, Granger grabs Mara's wrist. They crash through the old scaffolding, pain shooting through his body. He lands hard, but his priority is Mara. She's alive, but barely. Stay with me, he whispers, but she's limp, unresponsive. He searches for a way out, but when he looks down, Mara's pendant is gone. He checks her pulse. It's faint, but she's alive. Then, just as quickly as she appeared, Mara vanishes. The only thing left is the pendant lying on the ground. Granger's heart sinks. He has no answers. Where is she now? Granger is back at the station, but it doesn't feel like a victory. Mara is gone again, and he's been suspended from the case. The chief tells him, "You're off the case, Granger. You've gone too far." But Granger can't walk away. Something tells him this isn't over. He sits in his car, staring at the fog-covered campus. Then a whisper. His name. Granger. He looks around, but no one's there. The whispers are haunting. Someone from the past, someone he tried to forget. He wonders if this is his second chance, or just a trap. Either way, he can't stop now. Granger sits at his desk, staring at the files. Then he decrypts Mara's backup drive, and what he finds sends a chill down his spine. It's an experiment. A failed experiment funded by the university, about pushing the limits of the human mind. Granger's old partner, Detective Sarah Price, was part of it. She died mysteriously, and now the truth is unraveling. The experiment wasn't just science, it was about control. The students, including Mara and Kellen, were never just students, they were test subjects. The secret society, Aurum Veritas, was involved. And now they're pulling the strings from the shadows. Days pass and Granger's doubts grow. He thought he uncovered the truth, but something doesn't feel right. Then a package arrives. Inside Mara's journal, and a burner phone. Granger turns the phone on, and a video plays. It's Mara, her voice trembling. "They know I'm alive," she whispers. "You can't trust anyone. Even you might be one of them." The screen goes black. Granger stares at the phone, his mind racing. Who is them? And why does she think he's one of them? The room feels colder now. Granger realizes he's been a pawn in their game all along. But now the final question remains. Can he trust anyone, including himself?